So I'm a black farmer, and a lot of people are wondering, why are black farmers not panicking like a lot of white farmers? Well, let me explain to you the reasons why. It's because white farmers have been handed everything to them, a lot of them. Not saying all of them, but a good bit of them. And by that I mean this. MLK even pointed out, he says, farmers in the West and the Midwest who were white, they were given land, they were given money, they were given training, they were given a lot. Whereas the black farmers weren't given anything, and the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history is Pickford v. Glickman, where you had a class action lawsuit, bunch of black farmers all joined the lawsuit, and they won a huge settlement because the USDA was shown to be racist for decades. So because black farmers haven't been given anything, we've been learning to do without, unlike your white farmers. So when things are taken away from you, all your subsidies, all your tax breaks, guess what? You panic. Whereas we've always been going through this shit. So there's problems in privilege.
Hello my good people. Today's video takes us into the field of American agriculture, where a surprising question is being raised. Why are many black farmers not panicking like the white counterparts in the face of Trump's harsh deportation policies? And now here is the real story. Get this one right.
I'm seeing all these videos right now where all these farmers are crying about not getting no help right now. You know what? Let me ask you something. When have you ever heard of a black farmer crying about it? Never. And you want to know why? Because they ain't never got no help in the first place. That's right. USDA is literally admitted to discriminating against black farmers. And literally black farmers had to sue, thousands of them, to get what white farmers are handed for free. And fast forward to today, all these farmers crying that they can't get no help. You see, black farmers, they've been struggling. Y'all just now feeling what they've been feeling for over 100 years. Black farmers, they used to own over 19 million acres of land. But guess what? Systematic racism, denied loans, shady politicians, and legal loopholes wiped them all out. Yeah. And now they're 1% of America's farmland. When the government finally tried to pass relief for the black folk back in 2021, white farmers sued to block it, claimed it was reverse discrimination. Make that make sense. So, next time you see folks complaining about farm aid, why don't you ask them, where's the help for the black farmers? Ask them why their struggle is just now important when others have been suffering for centuries.
This is a conversation that opens the door to deep truth about labor, race, history, and power in American food system. And I'll be reacting to a video where people are finally starting to notice that black farmers seem less shaken by the deportation of immigrant workers, while white farmers are crying out in fear of frustration. Grab your seat, guys, because we are going to unpack what mainstream media won't tell you, and you will not see it anywhere, and why black farmers may be standing on a different kind of resilience in these uncertain times. And before that, I want us to watch these clips, guys, then I'll be back.
So, I'm a farmer in Las Vegas, and the number one thing that I always get asked, or the number one thing that people are so shocked by, is that things grow here. And I'm like, not only do things grow here, things flourish here, because Las Vegas actually has more continental growing days than any other city on average. And this happens to be a particularly warm winter. So what it looks like, because people can't imagine it, right? What it looks like, baby, is this right here. This right here. Y'all see this? That look like tomatoes in December. Tomatoes in December. And this was an experiment. But now that I know that I can do this, tomatoes in December. Look, and in our real life, in a whole real life, look, little baby tomato, little wipe off. We're organic over here, baby. Best tomatoes you ever had. No cap. You live in Vegas? Come see about me.
Okay, I want to address something that I saw on YouTube in regards to a question on why we are not hearing from a lot of black farmers during the midst of this economic decline here in the United States. A lot of black farmers have had to learn to be self-sufficient without government support. So in my opinion, that's why you're not really hearing from a lot of black farmers right now, because there's not a lot of us, and a lot of us don't have loans like that. There's been a push, I know, within my circle of people to make sure that your land is paid off and that you are not relying upon the government in order to feed your family. Yeah, that's just my opinion, but what we can do is go and talk to Dad and see what Dad has to say about all of this. Yeah, so let's go check on Dad, like I was saying, and have him give his opinion on. So just to finish our conversation about why you don't see a lot of black farmers online complaining about what's going on with the USDA and farm benefits and how they're getting ready to lose their farm. Like I said, a lot of it is systematic, and a lot of us didn't. First of all, the decrease in farmers have been happening since 1990. Like, it's real bad. I think it's only 1% of farmers that's black right now that's registered with the USDA, and they're black. There's only 1% compared to where it used to be, I think 13%. Yeah. So it's dropped substantially, like ridiculously low. A lot of black farmers have lost their land through eminent domain, through systematic issues, and so there's number one, there's not a lot of black farmers, and number two is when it's time to give out benefits or to help people to further their farm, black farmers are often overlooked. They don't allow black farmers to get, it's just a fact. There's been a history of discrimination, so they're not able to get loans and other benefits that come from the USDA to continue in business, and so that's another issue. And so you don't see a lot of black farmers relying on the USDA like that. So they're not going to be online complaining like you have other farmers that's out in Nebraska and other parts of the United States who are white farmers. You're not going to see black farmers talking like that because, number one, most of them are living debt free. They're not involved in the programs from the USDA, and there's not a lot of us here in the United States. So a thing that I wanted to kind of like bring up, what my dad has always taught me, and he has said it recently out there where we were putting the pine needles around the iris, the bearded iris. Dad always has told me, and because of my accounting background and because Dad has spoken this into my ear so often, he always talks about keeping the man out of your pocket. Mm-hmm. And when he says that, I think a lot of people think, oh, he's talking about the white man, keep the white man out your pocket. It's more than just, I guess, that. It's more of a systematic, like keep the government, keep the corporations, keep the system from putting you in a position of debt where you are not able to maneuver during times of decline. And I think that's what you mean, right, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in my days, we had farmers that really couldn't read and write, but they had vast acres of land, like the Majors, the Pace, Molly Polymaze. Yeah, and you can name all of them, you know. We had so many, we're in the Goose community, you know, in the Homestead community, and the Perrine community. We had, but their thing was to keep the man out of their pocket. And if a person that can't read and write knew how to keep the man out of the pocket, what do you think about it? Yeah, think about an educated person, you know? So we have to go back to the old school and stop getting all these loans and keep ourselves update with the laws, the new laws coming out, and pay your property tax, pay your property tax, pay your property tax. And another thing, set up your property with a trust fund.
That way it bypasses probate.
Yeah. And do these
Keep
things.
the system out of your business.
Yeah. And then if you have a farm, get the family together on a monthly basis and talk about business, you know? Just have a day, every third Sunday, every fourth Sunday, we'll come to the house and have a sit down and we talk about business and finance, you know? We got to start doing that, you know? Because if we don't do it, and ain't nobody else going to help us, you know? So minimize the man in your pocket, pay off know the difference between things that appreciate and things that don't appreciate.
That appreciate, right?
Yeah. And make sure you understand the difference. And try to pay off your house, try to pay off your land.
Don't have a car note. Even the type of cars that we buy, they're salvage units. We never buy no new car right off the lot. No new
cars, no.
Salvage units are the best.
Yeah.
I had my salvage unit for years, and it only cost me $5,000. My son has a salvage unit. Everybody has a salvage unit. So we don't buy new cars because we know that as soon as you drive them off the lot, they depreciate. So we do a lot to minimize overhead. And I think that's what's going on, why you don't see a lot of particularly like black farmers online complaining about what's happening in this economy, because you're not going to hear them talk about getting ready to lose their land.
And for the equipment, back in the days, black farmers knew how to network. You know what I mean by network? If they had a tractor, they let another black farmer use that tractor, you know?
It's still going on today.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to go back to that.
When we went to visit Loretta and Mr. Sam,
down in Augusta?
Yeah, in Augusta, they have a network
Their
network was really good,
awesome,
with younger farmers and also neighboring farmers all helping each other, and they're all black, and so they're relying on each other for support and growth.
Yeah. So
tractors are involved in that, and you know, when one person don't have something, the other person does. So there's a community of support.
I remember when my daughter first brought this property, and people was talking about negativity, and they didn't see the beauty of it. Now they see the beauty of it, and they're upset like hell. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, whatever you decide to do, you pray about it, you know, and listen to yourself, and you go forward, you know? There's the people back in the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, the 20s could do what they did. We could do even better if we stop this mess around, you know what I'm saying? Concentrate on what we were put here to do. Right. And we'll be able to go to the next level.
And stay away from them loans.
Yeah.
Because if you have loan on your land and then loan on your house and then loan on your equipment, I think you're guaranteed to fail.
Yeah, that money,
in this system.
Yeah, that money sounds good, you know what I'm saying, when you get it. But when you get ready to pay it back, it's a headache.
So as white farmers across America declare bankruptcy, shut down farms, cry for government bailing, black farmers are thriving. No wonder they are silenced. This is because black farmers have been adapting and surviving outside of a racist system since 1619. The truth lies in over 400 years of survival, resistance, and brilliance. So they have learned to turn struggle into strength. While white farmers depend heavily on government subsidies, crop insurance, and bank loans, black farmers relied on innovation, community, and sheer endurance.
Black farmers. Imagine how healthy we would be if we had more black farmers, or let's pretend we have only black farmers, right? I'm talking about the way that the Midwest is going to fall apart without federal funding, specifically all of these farmers, right? But one group that's going to do well is black farmers because they never got all of these handouts. And so I am not opposed to a strategy where we do let some of these rural Midwestern towns kind of fall apart on their own doing and take that as a redistricting opportunity. But think about this. Native Americans. How much healthier would our planet be and our land be if Native Americans had more farmland? Which will be one of the groups that have the cash to do so. So I don't know, it's a silver lining I'm trying to think of. I was just trying to think if I've ever known a major farm or plant to have a food recall that was Black owned, and if there is, I certainly can't think of it.
So while we're boycotting all the places that are rolling back their DEI programs and we're trying to support local farmers, did you guys know that there is a Black Farmers Index? This is the largest, free, most comprehensive directory of Black farmers. The index connects you to traditional, non-traditional growers, from row crop farmers, ranchers, vegetable and fruit producers, to beekeepers, fisherfolk, foragers, vintners, and more. The index will take you right to your region. You're just going to want to find your region, and then you're going to want to click on your state. And once you do that, it's actually going to take you and show you all of the farms. It's got their Instagrams linked, their websites linked. A lot of them have their emails on here if you want to ask them any questions. So cool. They even do local events all over, like celebrating Black History Month. Even dinner with a farmer, which I think is really freaking cool. There are so many cool facts and resources and events and ways you guys can support. I highly recommend you guys check them out. And let me know if you guys have anyone near you that you're excited to visit. Just pop it in the comments below and tag them.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today? My name is Lane. I'm a third-generation farmer from Florida, and I'm standing in a field of potatoes we planted 70 days ago. We're going to dig one up. We're going to take a look and see what it looks like. This is a 90-day variety here. They are lapping up pretty good. Vines are looking nice and healthy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything good underneath them. But like I say, we're about to see. Eeny, meeny, miny, low. I forgot to bring a tripod with me, but these things are big. I mean, they're about knee high. I'm 6'1". Nice, healthy looking vines. Enough talking, let's dig one up. And this right here so you get your hands dirty. Mama didn't raise no pretty boy. Well, this is what we got so far. That's what's to be expected this time of year. Now, like I said, this is a 90-day variety, but we ever hardly harvest them on the 90th day. We give them plenty of time to grow in size like we need them to. Now, looking at the seed here, that's the original seed piece that grew this plant. We cut our seed in a half, thirds, or fourth. That way we get more use out of them. This farm that I'm on has some of the sandiest ground that we have. Nice, good sandy dirt, produces pretty potatoes. I'll cover them back up. I'll come back and get them when it's time. I plan on trying to film as much as possible, trying to keep you updated on how the process is coming with growing the crop. But pretty soon here, before we know it, it'll be time to get in here and dig them.
And hopefully more people can actually, take farming and agriculture serious, because we need more Black farmers. Mm-hmm. Like, you from South Carolina, you understand that. And, there was a point where there was a lot of Black farmers, and now there's hardly any Black farmers. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even like what Minister Farrakhan said, like, you can't control your food, then that's like one of the most essential things in life, right? So it's like we always have diabetes, high blood pressure, all of that, but a lot of that is coming through the food that we're eating, and a lot of the reason is that we're not controlling the food. So we just are getting foods with chemicals, and that there's not slaughtering the animals correctly. So
now, we've seen many videos, guys, where white farmers are crying that they don't have labor because most of their workers are deported back to their countries. And you also have Black farmers. You've not seen Black farmers taking it to the social media, maybe to cry or to ask for help or to beg Trump not to deport their workers. What's the big difference between these two farmers, the white farmers and the Black farmers? Now, let's start with historical roots of the Black farmers. First, let's understand something. Black farmers have histories that's radically different from white landowners in America. Black folks didn't come into farming through wealth. They came to farming through struggle, through survival, post-sharecropping, trying to build something from the bottom with limited resources, no government support, and certain systemic racism. So when policies shift and shake the farming industries today, Black farmers are used to weathering storms. They have had to operate outside of the mainstream system for so many decades. Then number two, we have got white farmers rely heavily on undocumented labor. Now, here's the truth mainstream media avoids. Many white farmers have built their farms on the backs of undocumented immigrants, laborers, especially from Mexico to Central America. These workers often pick crops under poor conditions, for low wages, without benefits, and when Trump's deportation machine kicks in, white farmers lose their entire labor force overnight. That's why they are panicking, because their system was built on exploitation. When the word Black farmers is mentioned, this is what will come to your mind. Black farmers is equals to smaller, independent, and family-based. They don't depend on labor from outside or from other countries. It's a family thing, you know. On the flip side, black farmers tend to run smaller, family-oriented farms. You know, they often rely on their own hands, their family, their community, and have learned to work without depending on big labor force or exploitation practices. Many black farmers also don't benefit from subsidies, tax breaks, or corporate connections like the big white-owned farms. So when deportation plans hits, their labor system remains intact. Then number 4, we have got black farmers have been locked out, so they are more self-sufficient. What's wild is, the very system that locked black farmers out may now be their greatest strength. By being denied access to massive federal loans, contracts, and large-scale industrial farming support, they have learned to be more resourceful, more independent, and now they are not as vulnerable when the same systems start falling apart. It's twisted irony. Racism forced them to survive without the system, and now the system collapses isn't shaking them the same way, you know, because they're used to that suffering. Number 5 is community network over corporate dependence. Also, let's not forget the power of community networks. Black farmers often trade locally. They sell at farmers markets, work with urban food programs, and build sustainable farming initiatives. They are not as tied to big agribusinesses or immigrant labor pipelines. So, deportation, as painful as it is, don't destroy their operations the way it does to the big commercial farms. Number 6, this isn't about black versus brown. You know, it's about systemic dependency. Let me be clear on this, guys. This isn't about cheering that deportation is good. Not at all. Please understand. This is about understanding how systemic or dependency and why some groups are more shaken than others. The fear that white farmers are feeling, that's the fear of system collapsing that was built to favor them from the start. But black farmers, they have been building their own system in the shadows, often ignored and unsupported. And now they are the ones standing firm during this harsh time of Trump's deportation. So when you see this video, guys, when you hear this question, why aren't black farmers panicking? Remember, it's not because they don't feel the pressure. You know, it's because they have been under pressure the whole of their lives. They've lived through exclusion, economic attacks, stolen lands, and systemic barriers. So when others start to shake, they are already grounded. The real story here isn't about labor. It's about resilience, history, and dependence born from survival. So, drop your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Is the system crumbling in front of our eyes? Or is it just being exposed for what it always is? Don't forget, guys, to like this video, subscribe, and because we've got more videos for you coming your way.